Welcome to Thoughts in a Glass podcast. I'm Latoya.
And I'm Kendra.
And this is a weekly
Why
podcast.
do it look like that you surprised that I'm doing it?
I don't even know how you gonna end it. This is a weekly podcast where we share our unfiltered thoughts and opinions on a variety of topics.
So sit back, relax, and join us on a conversation of real, raw, and ridiculously funny commentary.
Period. Every week we do a drink of the night. Kendra, what's our drink tonight?
All right, so this is going to be called a Citrus Tequila Splash. Super easy to make. You're going to do an ounce of Hermanos 1978 reposado. And so 2 ounces of that, an ounce of pineapple juice, a splash of lime juice, 1 teaspoon of your aromatic bitters, and you don't have to not necessarily measure out 1 teaspoon. It would give you, I would say, maybe 6 dashes, and then put it in your shaker, shake it up, pour it over ice, and you can add cherries for garnish. Thank you. That's why ours looks kind of a little more cherry-ish, because the cherries juice is in it. So
cheers.
That's tasty.
Yeah, it's good to get back to. I mean, I feel like have we had tropical drinks?
No, we usually save those for spring into going into summer. So we're almost there, though.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Thank God.
So it's our last week of Black History Month.
Yes.
And with that being said, the Black History fact for this week is the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters and Maids, commonly referred to as the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, BSCP. This was founded in 1925. It was the first labor organization led by African Americans to receive charter in the American Federation of Labor. And this initiative was led by A. Philip Randolph. He was the BSCP, I guess one of the founders, but I think he worked for them, and he ended up becoming like the face of the organization. He was a part of them. He ended up becoming the face of the organization.
Okay.
But he was also one of the ones that really pushed and led the breakthrough of them getting into the American Federation of Labor.
Okay.
So basically what it was is Black African Americans couldn't be a part of federal labor unions. So all of y'all that got union jobs now is because of them, because they weren't letting Black people in those unions. And so we had our own quote unquote union, but it really wasn't recognized. And so Randolph was the one that pushed to get the BSCP recognized as a part of the Federation of Labor. Right. So that breakthrough was achieved on April 25th, 1937. So about 12 years from the time that they were created. So they signed the first contract with the Pullman Company after 12 years of trying to get it together, and really struggling in that field. And they wanted, so this is what they were asking for. They were asking for, or this is what the contract gave them: increased wages, and a standard 240-hour work month, and to reduce their hours, and then pay for preparatory and terminal time, which I don't know what that means, but, and then they also wanted formal recognitions. So this was interesting to me. Formal recognition allowed porters to be called by name rather than George. So this is kind of crazy to me. This is like lore, because I didn't realize, or I didn't know that when we're talking about porters, we're talking about the people in Pullmans. These are people that when you're taking train transportation, exactly, yes. So, but these are, even though it's service work, these are jobs, that deserve respect, and people are taking care of their family doing these jobs. So apparently, they called everybody George, like.
Because what's the point of me figuring out your name?
Even remembering your name. Yep. Right? Which is so disrespectful. But that's what was happening back in the day. And I don't know if it was the same for the white porters. I don't even think white people did this job. Or if they did, I don't think they called them George. Anyway. So they literally had to write it in their contract, in their labor contract, that they wanted to be addressed by their name, which is kind of crazy to me. So they gathered membership of about 18,000 passenger railway workers, and like all along the train system, from the maids, the porters, the Pullmans, all of those. And so they came together to form this union, and they were able to get a contract signed with the American Federation of Labor, and they got the validation that they were looking for. And so this agreement was a landmark achievement, and it validated them for, during this time, with all of the racism and the Jim Crow and everything going on in different industries, they were able to kind of get the validation that they were looking for, and it protected them from anti-union tactics. So being in situations where, because they weren't a part of the union, their employers could ask them to work ridiculous amount of hours. They didn't have to give them leave. They didn't have to give them any of the things, any of the benefits that union workers were given. These black workers weren't entitled to it because they were not a part of a union. And so they fought for that, and they got that.
Okay, so preparatory time is basically the time required before you have to get to the before your like plane depart. So you know how they say 2 hours, 3 hours.
Okay.
So a lot of times, if you are a porter, you're there well before the train even.
And so they weren't getting paid for that time. They were only getting paid
while they were on the.
But they were expected to be there beforehand.
And so you didn't. Basically, they did not get paid until the train actually started moving.
Wow.
So imagine you're at the station. You're loading everybody. So those 2 to 3 hours that you're doing all the loading, checking the tickets, all that stuff, they weren't getting paid for.
Wow.
So it's that.
Damn.
And then terminal time is basically going through security. So basically all that time it takes before you even depart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Anyway, I thought this was an interesting fact. Maybe, and I think y'all know we do a lot of this over here. Try to find those Black history nuggets that they're not talking about mainstream.
Yeah.
And I thought this was an interesting fact because our main topic today, I wanted to kind of discuss like work-life balance and like the pressure to like constantly be performing.
Yes.
And so to me, this is just an example of like, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, maybe this is actually generational for us.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that other cultures don't experience it, or other people don't experience, like right now today, they don't experience that pressure by society to constantly be performing or constantly be producing. But hearing this and doing the research for this Black history fact, it just really kind of made me think about, granted, we started off as slaves, but it just really makes me think about when it comes to labor in the sense of contributing to the grander society, how that informs so much of our lifestyle. Like I couldn't imagine, well, maybe I could imagine being a rail worker, having to put in hours before, hours after, only getting paid for the time that the train is moving, and still continuing to come back to work every day because this is how I'm feeding my family.
Yeah.
So you're overproducing, getting underpaid, not even respected at your job.
Right.
But still the expectation is, I gotta do this. I can't lose this job.
And the thing is, it's not like, and when you think about the rail system, it's not like the rail system that we have today.
Right.
Meaning like going on WMATA. It's basically I'm traveling and taking these people to another state.
Right.
And so I'm not going to be home tonight, or I'm not going to be home for a week, or I'm not going to be home for a month because once we get out there, it takes 2 weeks to get out to wherever, and then just all the different things, especially if you're somebody that when they did the railroad that goes from here, meaning the East Coast to the West Coast. I mean, it wasn't as fast. All the, just all the things. It's not like they were just going up the street. They're going. If you want to train, it's because you're going states away. So that's the other thing. Like, I'm not even getting paid. So when we go to these stops, the train has stopped. So that doesn't mean my pay has stopped again.
Yeah.
So that's just. It's kind of ridiculous. It's very ridiculous.
Very ridiculous.
I know that, and when we get further into the episode, I know one of the things that has come up like on TikTok and stuff like that is people talking about God, the Perry just got me because he just said, "Give me that thought and shut up." Um,
And I don't know where you was going.
I know. So you said work-life balance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, code switching.
Yeah,
That's another thing that has come up.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into that, because now I'd be excited to talk about whatever you watching and stuff when I actually watch this stuff. First of all, how was your week?
That's a good question. My week was good.
Mm-hmm.
I trying to think.
Are you getting ready for your book club getaway?
Oh, I gotta talk to you about that. I'm not going.
What?
Cause there's some other things that I need to do. So on Friday, I had this my old job. They do like a monthly, or not even a monthly, but like maybe every 6 months get together and
a little over quarterly.
Yeah. And somebody from that crew is getting ready to retire, so this will be probably one of the last opportunities that I get to see that person.
Gotcha.
And so I was like, oh, I really want to go to that. So I want to be at that. And then there's something else that I needed to do. Oh, my best friend's birthday is that weekend.
Got you.
And we were chit-chatting, and she was like, well, I'm kind of flexible. Like, we can hang out Friday, or like we can get breakfast Saturday morning, or like, or we can even hang out Sunday. So, but I was just thinking, and I hadn't told her this, but I was like, I was supposed to be out of town.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, if I don't go out of town, I can do all of this, and I can try to go. Well, I want to go with Tiffany to the holiday party.
And I so, for a second.
I know.
I was like, okay.
And so I was like, it even though the book club retreat would be fun, it's just other things at home that
other priorities.
Yeah, other priorities that I'm like, I need to, like, cause to go out there, granted, it's time with them, and we can like relax, and we have our little games and all of that, but as I'm contemplating it, and I feel bad because I did tell them, I was going to go, but then I went back and was like, I don't think I'm going to go. As I'm contemplating it, I'm like, what's more important?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like having time to like get away and relax with book club, who are like new friends that I've just made, or like having, meeting some of these commitments with friends that I have had for longer.
Yeah.
And so I just decided that it's better for me to do that.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
So I'm not going. And they'll be fine. They'll be all right.
They'll have time.
I am reading Broken Love. Oh, sorry, I'm not really prepared. My bad, y'all. How was your week? Come back to me.
My week was good. All of my shows are back. I'm excited about that.
What have you been watching?
So I did watch what is it called? The Burbs.
Oh, okay.
With Keke Palmer.
What platform is that on?
Peacock.
Okay.
When I tell y'all, it was so good.
It's good?
It is so. What's nice about it? Because I never watched the movie, so I need to watch that, because it's a movie called The Burbs with.
So it's based off a movie.
I don't think it's based off the movie. I'm not going to say that because I haven't seen the movie. It's with what's the dude from Sleepless in Seattle? What else was he in? He was in You've Got Mail with Meg Ryan.
Old white man. That's all I.
He got curly hair. What is his name? Tom Hanks.
Okay.
So so I want to see if it is the movie-ish type of thing, but it's basically a comedic, like a comedic thriller, of like what's going on next door kind of thing, and it's like the town is like murder, kill, kill. But Keke Palmer is funny, so there's stuff, and if, like, literally when I say representation matters, every night she got that bonnet on her head. She got that bonnet and that scarf on that head,
as she should,
in different colors. Like, yes, ma'am. And then it's just so, the premise is they are moving into this house that his parents have left and gone on to retire in Florida. So they leave them this house. So they're living in this house, and everybody keeps saying, "Oh, this is just the safest neighborhood in the neighborhood, the safest neighborhood in the world, the safest neighborhood in the world." But you can tell there's some shit going on with these neighbors. And so she's a lawyer, so everything is like inspection. And so anytime somebody says something, she's like, "And so why you say it like that?" So how she is in some of these interviews is how it comes off on screen.
Okay.
And it's like not supposed to be super funny, but it's stuff that we think in our minds that she says out loud, like, no, why he say it like that, kind of thing. So it was good. The cliffhanger and I hope they have a season 2. The cliffhanger is like, yes, yes, I need to see what's going on. Because, of course, you move into the Burbs, you're the only black person in the Burbs. What's up with the whites?
Yeah.
Is the question. So it was good. So I was watching that. I did start watching The Rookie again. And I don't know, every season, it just gets that much better.
I'm behind on that. I
get into it.
I was watching it with Judah for a while, and then I kind of like, this is like your type of TV show.
The Rookie is so freaking good. I kind of feel like that with 911. Sometimes I can get into it, sometimes I don't. I just kind of like, how y'all 911 in space? I mean, you're doing the most, okay? You're doing the most. But the ones that, like with The Rookie, it gives you, it's kind of like all the other cop shows, like Chicago Blue and stuff like that. And it's like, how many times can you save somebody? But then it'd be realistic stuff. We are in LA going LA every time. So that's good.
I do like their personal life stories.
Yes, and you get a lot more of that
yeah.
than like regular cop shows. It's just about the policing of things. With this one, you get a variety.
But then they do stuff that pissed me off because I didn't like that they tried to make the one girl. Now I don't remember all the characters' names, but the one girl, remember she had a crush on her mentor.
Yes,
I didn't like that because like why do we have to have that like.
Well, because the reality, so this is the thing, and this is why I'd be like, I can get with it because more often, because she's so green and he's so like, I don't know what it is about women that when it's a guy that be like egging you, it makes you be like, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. And then because you're kind of like, why are you being this way? Yeah. And then he shows a little bit of a soft side and you're like, oh, there's that I got to dig. And there's something underneath that. And their storyline continues on, and it does, her being the way she is, and I guess it's a reminder of like my relationship because I'm so like stuff don't really be bothering me, and he be pent up with stuff, and I'd be like, I don't have time for this kind of thing. And so, but now you see a different side of him. What's his face? Can I think of his name? Anyway, the guy, the older guy that in the beginning, he's he has gotten married, so their relationship is going through like a rocky thing. So it's like it's a lot of I thoroughly enjoy it. Now they're kind of mixing in a little. Do you remember the show, The Rookie? That what's her face? The Rookie. It was called The Rookie, but it was Feds with what's her name? Niecy Nash.
Oh yeah. That was a spinoff.
Yes, but now they're merging that into this one.
Oh, okay.
And because I'm like, I haven't seen The Rookie Fed in a long time. I don't know if
they probably got canceled.
Yeah, but they're merging that into this a little bit.
So they've been doing more crossovers.
A little bit more crossover, and they usually do that because they did it at the end of last season, and so it kind of started up in this season. And I'm trying to see where they're going to go with this. But it's cool. And then what's her face? High Potential is back, and she's always a hoot. I'm starting to get a little bit annoyed because they have a new character on, and I cannot think of his name either. But he is the antagonist of the group, and he's just pissing me off a little bit. But Mekhi Phifer is appearing in there.
Okay.
And he has some stuff going on from her side story or whatever. What else did I watch? I think that's what I got caught up in. The next thing I want to start getting caught up on is Will Trent. So I'll maybe watch that over the weekend. But the other thing I'm also doing is like getting ready for Jayla's birthday.
Oh, okay.
And I know it's like I have a whole month, but February flew by. And the things that I want to get on top of like having to pay off other stuff and other things that I have going on, I'm trying to figure out like the activities and this, that, and the fourth. And like she's like, oh, I want this and I want that and I want this. And I'm like, girl, this is already enough. Shut up a little bit. So I don't know, but that's
I haven't really been watching anything. But the second part of Bridgerton comes out tomorrow, so I'll be tuned in for that. The book that
Are you going to watch Paradise?
Yeah, definitely.
Because that comes out on the 29th.
Yeah, I'll be there for that. Okay, for sure. I kind of don't. I kind of don't because I want to like let it build up.
I know.
I hate when I'm like
I have to wait for the next episode.
Yes.
I know. That's why I like all of these
But
shows,
I also have to watch it because
somebody gonna talk about it.
Exactly.
So they're gonna have all the clips.
Which is so crazy because there once was a time where we watched things weekly and like that was just our reality.
Yes.
I don't like doing that no more.
You know what? For me, what I've realized is that watching things weekly, that first episode, unless it's like a really good show, it's not captivating. And so it takes like maybe 3 like to start building a character. And I know it's because everything is so quick and fast for us and we don't have the patience to allow things to flourish.
But I wonder how, I guess it doesn't matter to them because they wouldn't be doing it this way. I wonder how from like TV producers and like getting their numbers or getting their stats, I wonder how they're affected by this because you have those people that will wait. And it's like, I'm not going to watch it until it's all out. So I'm sure that has an effect on their numbers because when we didn't have that option, you had your premiere numbers back in the day where it's like, this is the day that the show's going to come out. Everybody's going to rush and watch it. And it may taper off throughout the season where now I wonder if it's the opposite. If it's, well, it may get a slow start, but then once all the episodes come out, people will start binging it.
Yeah, well, I think you have a twofold, right? Because everybody doesn't have all of the streaming services. Some people just still have, like my parents still just really have cable.
Regular TV.
And so people are just watching Fox.
And that's it.
And to wait for it to come on Fox. With all the commercials.
What is this, the Stone Age?
What is this, the Stone Age? Are we the Flintstones? Paddling down the street? What are you doing? Oh, what's going on? I am the Jetsons.
So I will be there for Paradise. I just got, I'm in. I gotta see what they're gonna do.
I need a couple of episodes. Like I need a weekend of watching because I'm gonna just be honest. Even if I had like 3 episodes and I was at that 3rd episode, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Because now if it's actually good, I don't have time for a week.
Yeah. But the thing is, I mean, unless you just don't be on social media, because the thing is, everybody's going to be talking about it. Yeah.
The clip's going to clip.
Yeah, so I'm going to watch that. The book that we're reading in book club is called Beautiful Broken Love by Shanora Williams. It was actually pretty good. It was a sweet little rom-com, nice and spicy. I liked it. I mean, I don't know if y'all want to know about it, but it basically was about a girl who her husband had died and now she has an opportunity to find love again with her coworker, or like she has her own business. And so there's this guy that comes in to partner with her on her business, and he's going to be a brand ambassador for her. And he's a professional basketball player. And so they have an opportunity to find love again, but of course it's not smooth. It's rocky. They kind of go through a little ups and downs. And it's kind of like she's like, I'm still grieving my husband. I'm not really ready. And he's like, well, I don't want to just be friends with you. I want more. So the whole book is like a will they, won't they type of thing. Okay. And then they of course try to do the whole, I'm attracted to you, you're attracted to me, let's just have sex. But then feelings get involved.
Always.
But then it's like, feelings are involved, but also I'm not ready to fully commit. So the story was kind of like, you seen it once, you've seen it twice. Yeah. The writing was good though. Yeah. So it kept me engaged, kept me locked in. And there were little sprinkles of different things that, like, even though the main story was kind of basic, there were little sprinkles of things that wasn't basic, but it wasn't a part of the main story. If that makes sense. So that was my week and what I'm watching. Not very eventful, which is uncommon for me, but sometimes I gotta relax.
You got to.
I be doing the most.
The most has been done.
That reminds me of GloRilla sister, or
Glow Stud, Glow Pimp.
Glow Stud.
She is crazy.
And I guess that's something that they say in their family, because she was like, at the end of the day, they got in.
But that's not, no, that was a commercial. That was another person.
I thought that was GloRilla.
No, that was, somebody was doing an interview. I don't think it was her.
I never heard it till she said it.
No, I think it was a guy that was doing
I never heard it till she said it.
Maybe. I don't know.
But her sister said it too, and I just found that so funny.
First of all, her sister gonna say anything that she say. She's trying to get $1.
Right. Which is crazy.
First of all, why do you think putting your sister on blast about her not giving you money is going to then cause her to give y'all money?
I think maybe she thought, oh, she'll give me something just to shut me up.
But the thing is, then when she comes with the receipts and the mama's like, you do all the stuff. The daddy's like, you do all the stuff. The brother's like, she helped me out too. Like, so
she's just not helping you.
She's not helping you. And then we see a police report of you pulling a gun on her. Why would she help you, sister?
I mean, with her having so many siblings, you got it. Like, there's going to be one.
This is the thing. This is the true. But this is the thing. And this is what, she was on an interview with this guy. And so he was like, well, why do you think that you deserve it? She's like, we was, sleeping on this, had to sleep on the floor together. Da, 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 da. He's like, all right, so when she was trying to make it, were you pushing her CDs? I ain't had no money for that. Were you like getting her studio time? I ain't had no money for that. Okay, you don't have no money for that. Did you go with her into the studio? Nah, I ain't had time for that. So why do you expect, or why do you feel as if you are entitled to her making it? This is the thing. When people say we grew up the same, we was all struggling, we was all doing this, we was all doing that. Okay, so then one person gets out. So then what were you doing in the midst of her trying to get out? Because clearly it's not like saying, oh, we got treated badly, but they were sending her to a private school, or they were sending her to this. Everybody had the same 24. What you was doing with yours in comparison to what she was doing with hers, it's not my problem.
Absolutely.
It's not my problem. So
this is a great segue because I was watching. I mean, y'all know we watch a lot of Kev on Stage content. Mm-hmm, so I was watching this interview with him, Scott Evans, and
Kendall.
And
Kendall.
No, that's not his name.
It's not with a K-E.
Yeah. Kaylin.
Yeah. Kendall, Kaylin. You know.
And they so Jamel Hill, who was the moderator, she said something, and she said that she talked about Black PTSD, which is something that we experience, this feeling that success and accomplishments can be taken away from you just as quickly as they came.
Yep.
And so linking that back to the GloRilla situation, I don't know her reasoning for doing whatever she does with her money and with her finances, but I do think that I could see or imagine a scenario where she might be feeling that PTSD of, we came from nothing. I caught a lick, not really, but like my success has shot up, or my fame, my, money and all of that has shot up faster than maybe I even thought possible. And so there's an opportunity there's a possibility that all of this could be taken away from me. And so it feels unsafe to just be lavishing kind of money on family or just giving it away, because what happens when you're not making hits? What happens when you're not? And I mean, in some scenarios, we see it done where people throw all their money away and then they don't have anything left to say for themselves. And so it's possible, like, people do that too. But I'm just saying, in her case, and like I said, I don't know if this is how she feels, but I could just imagine that she might feel that way. That she might feel like, I'm not about to just
be handing it out. But I think the other part of that in this situation is, I'm going to do what I think she's like, I'm going to do what I feel as if is necessary.
Right.
The mom didn't want a house. And she was like, I'm too old for that. Yeah. I don't want to have to keep up payments, because the thing is, this is what everybody, oh, you should have bought a house. When you buy a house, there is still taxes on that house every year, every year, every 6 months if they do it in half, but every year you paying taxes on that house. Right. That doesn't go away when you just don't have a mortgage anymore. It's the keep up, it's the all the things. No, I'm not doing that. And then somebody else talked about, like, oh, you ain't retired my mother. Well, if I've been working at the job for 30 years and in 5 more years I get my full retirement, I'm not leaving until I get my full goddamn retirement.
Right, absolutely.
So the people that don't, and this is the thing that she said, she was like, when you don't have nothing, it's easy for you to jump on a bandwagon with somebody else that don't have nothing. When you have something, and the PTSD of probably maybe even losing it, or knowing that as fast as you get it, it's as fast as it can go away, then you on the other side of, that girl don't owe you nothing. You should be happy if she give you whatever. But now you done, and she also said, you talked about me negatively and you got your money up. You could have been doing this, but doing it in a positive way.
Yeah.
And being, and reaffirming or affirming like the struggles that we have and talking about how appreciative you are, having those type of interviews, and then putting yourself in a position but you've made decisions that you getting them tattoos all over your face. This is the personality you want to have. All of the things. You could still have all that and be doing something different.
And not to stay on this, but as you're saying, that just made me think about something like, as much as we want to make jokes or whatever, underneath all of that, her sister is actually charismatic. Like she has the kind of personality that, if she was doing it for the right reason, she probably could have done something with herself.
Yeah.
Just kind of being yourself and like talking about different, like she could have probably started a podcast. Maybe you started off with talking about your connection with GloRilla, but then taking it further, to another level. Like I could see that. I could see her maybe doing commentary or something or that, because she does have a very animated type of way that she talks that I feel like people would relate to. Yeah. But now that you started off from this angle, it might be hard to. But I'm not a publicist, but I feel like a lot of people in publicity or in marketing would say there's an opportunity to spin it if she really wanted that, because I could imagine maybe kind of like an apology interview or something like that, or maybe a sit down talk with her and GloRilla where they kind of hash out whatever, and then she from there moves into a more positive light of, I said some stuff, I was feeling some type of way, or self-reflecting. People love a good self-reflecting moment.
Love it.
Hey, I was talking out of anger, I was talking out of fear, I was hurt, whatever, but that's my sister and I love her. It's giving a little, not to say it like this, but it's giving a little Toni Braxton Tamar tease. Like, we could play that angle.
Right.
But I don't know, and I don't know if, I'm just saying all this, guys, I'm just speculating. I don't know what her sister's intentions are. I don't know nothing about them people. Yeah. But what they have shown us. And like you said, instead of attacking your sister for what she's not doing, you're not looking at this situation and finding a way for you to gain something for yourself.
Else. Yeah. And so I also watched the same podcast, and I feel like, and it's so, because I didn't watch all of it because, and you could tell me if you picked up on this vibe. I feel like Kevin and Scott, and maybe it's because they're also older, are very like happy to be in the moment. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Everything is a big thing. And the way, like, I think the way Kaylin is just like very postured. Yeah. Very like, I'm here, but I'm not in the conversation.
Yes, I did pick up on that, but I think they kind of said it. The difference is Kaylin grew up like right out of college, going straight to Ellen. Yeah. So I think for him, he has been on these big stages for like it's almost like how when we get excited about stuff, but the kids be like, I mean, y'all so late, it's like y'all grew up with phones, y'all grew up with social media. We didn't. So yes, we're gonna wear a trend out, because this is like it's still relatively new to us, or it still has its novelty because we remember a time where we didn't have it. I think for him, there probably hasn't been a time where he wasn't being spotlighted for something in his adulthood. So it's kind of like
I know, but I feel like he probably needed to be on an episode with somebody else that has because it makes it to me, it stood out. Where these two being older, the level of appreciation, and then the awe of like even being in the presence of Jamel Hill, like we used to watch you, and it's like, I don't know.
I saw that, but then I felt like I also felt like maybe Kaylin felt a little. I think he was being guarded because he felt like, I don't want to say they attacked him, but I think he felt like that they were low key judging him for having the success that he's had, you know.
But I don't. I think, oh, and he, granted, that may be how he took it, but also I'm like the shock factor of, because when he said he was only what 29,
Mm-hmm.
I'm also like, I didn't think you were old, but I also I didn't think that you were that young.
But I think the thing is, because we have been seeing him for so, I think we didn't realize how young he was when he was
and I think both of them said the same thing. Like, you, what are you talking? Like, because you have people that has the old spirits and stuff like that, and it's just like, and you don't also know unless you were following him for time. You don't know like what his day to day is, and so I don't like everybody else who's doing their vlogging and blah this that and the fourth. I don't know, but he just gave very like he would have been good on the episode with like maybe a Tamar or someone who has like started super early. Like, no, she didn't have like big fame, but she was in the industry very early.
But the topic was social media fame, and so in that regards, he was amongst his peers.
Yeah, he needed somebody like, I'm trying to think. I don't know the young social media folk. I'm trying to think.
You think he would have done better with somebody younger than him,
or within his age group?
Okay.
Kevin is 42,
right.
and Scott is like
late
30. Yeah, so those are, so it would make more sense for him to be with like a
like not Carlton. What's that guy's name? What's his real name? His screen name is not Carlton Banks, and he does all the like little church people.
Yes.
Somebody like
something
that.
like that,
Yeah.
right?
Like,
or
is younger.
Yeah.
Maybe hasn't had the same level of fame, but like has been in that world.
Yes. For a significant amount of time now.
Well, he probably would have did good with Mel Mitchell, even though I think she's probably not as big of a face as him, but they're around the same age, and she's been doing her social media stuff for a long time, even though she hasn't blown up as quickly as he has.
Yes. But and so that gives the same kind of perspective of, I've been in this thing for a minute. So I don't know. Because they be like, I don't know. And we are millennials, and so everything that we are overly excited about everything that is like was told to us that we can't do, kind of thing. So that's that. So work-life balance. Yeah. Do you have it?
What's that? Okay, two things. Mm-hmm. Work-life balance, yes, but I work hard to maintain that work-life balance.
Okay.
With that though, I do feel constant pressure to perform, produce, excel. Like it's like that. It's like, you know what it is, which is I'm kind of just coming to this realization as we're having this conversation. I feel like I have to earn my work-life balance, which is so crazy.
Yeah.
But I do. Like, I have a 4-day work week, but I will stay late Monday through Thursday. I will go above and beyond to make sure that them people got everything they need. Like, I'm doing
the most
to kind of justify the fact that I'm not there on that Friday.
Yeah.
And that's like, nobody told me to do that. That's just my own internal
mindset of like, this is what we need to do. Yeah. Because I feel like we are always, and this is one of the things that he said in the podcast, which I definitely agree on, Kaylin, and it's the PTSD of being Black is that you're only as good as the last thing you did, right? So it's always like we are always on. Like, I'm at work and I was at like mother ears, but I'm always listening to conversations.
Yes.
Because you don't know within a conversation. I want to be prepared for what the fallout might be, or the thing that's going, the new ask that's going to happen. Let me already know, right? So if I'm hearing a conversation of like, hey, I maybe need to be off on this day, I'm now looking to see what might need to be changed, what might need to be covered, who can cover this, who can, whatever. So when it's like, hey, we were having a conversation earlier, I'm going to be off. Okay, I kind of overheard that, so I've already kind of reached out to see if there's any other, whatevers. Or I heard that we may be getting to have to go down to cover this meeting, and you're going to need a car. I went ahead and put that in. It's easy to cancel, But let me put it in now because if you're going to need it for tomorrow, it needs to be done within 24 hours. Or if you're going to need it within a couple of days, I need to go ahead and pull this up. Yeah. And so I think for us, we don't have or we don't believe that we have the luxury of the last minute or tell me in the moment. That's just not the reality because our thought process, and I know for me, especially like going into high school, was like, well, if you know or you kind of sense something was happening, why weren't you proactive in doing something? Yeah. Why weren't you? I've heard that enough where I'm going to be proactive. I would rather have to cancel something than to be like, oh, well, I don't know if we can do it because of such and such. Yeah. Well, you kind of overheard it in the meeting, so why didn't you think about maybe doing such and such? Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it's sad in a way. Somebody said on TikTok that she's having the audacity of a mediocre white man, and it's sad in a way because that's how they move. They don't have no problem with being we're gonna need a car. Oh, I didn't think about that. Well, let me. It's like and never. Well, I'm not gonna say never, but in my experience, I have not witnessed there being consequence for that.
Yes.
If anything, I have witnessed people making accommodation for that.
Yes.
Oh, so-and-so forgot to get us a car, so we're just going to take a shuttle this time. Like, and then I look at that sometimes and feel like, now, had that been me,
right,
y'all have been in my ass about why y'all didn't have this and why y'all didn't have that.
The other day, I was working on some stuff, so I had stayed at work late. And so, later than really what I wanted to, because they've all had to pick the kids up. And I said, go ahead and just feed them, and then come back and get me, because they needed to put when he got home, they were putting a new water heater in the house. Mm-hmm. So then he also wanted Janae, because she's now working out, so she came to the house to work out. And so he's waiting for her to finish so that he could have her come upstairs and leave her with the boys. Or was like, no, that day he was like, I'm going to just take her home and drop her off and then we'll come get you. So I'm kind of staying at work late, working on some stuff. 2 weeks prior to that, my administrative, my SA was doing the same thing. Her thing is she don't have to leave. So she's just staying to make up hours. Mm-hmm. There's nothing for her to do. The principals are leaving. Mm-hmm. Most of the stuff is shut. Like, everything is done. That's not my job. I'm an XO. Mm-hmm. I have other things I could be doing. No one says anything to her. Right.
For sitting there not doing nothing.
Sitting there she don't do nothing all day when the people is dead. No one says anything to her. I'm there late. My manager, the chief of the department comes to me and was like, oh, is there stuff to be doing to do? And in my mind, I'm
as if I'm just here because I want to be here. Like, I got a whole family outside this job.
I could have just taken the train home. Or I don't mind getting, the Uber, whatever. And I was like, well, no, I'm working on stuff. I'm working on some accesses, doing some other things. Oh, okay. And so I knew what that underline was. I'm like, you don't say nothing to that lady when she don't do anything. And to the point where I am a social person. I'm having a conversation. I'm not really, but it's social enough when I'm at work. This is me being on, right? So I'm having a conversation with somebody, and they're like, "Oh, well, we're getting ready to leave. Well, I'm getting ready to leave to go to another department, whatever." And so I'm like, "Oh, okay." So then I reach out to her manager, like, "Hey, did y'all put in for her to get something for her? Like a plaque for her leaving or whatever?" He's like, "Well, I sent an email." I then go to my direct person counterpart, and I'm like, "Well, he said he sent an email." She's like, "Well, I sent it to y'all on Monday." I look it up. It's on Monday. This young lady has not put the stuff in, right? So now I'm asking on a Friday because it's just because I just had a conversation with somebody. And so now from that, I could have just let that, as most people do, let that thing fly. Oh, well, congratulations, woman. So now on Friday, I'm like, was this put in? And because the email was then sent to her saying, hey, I know you're on the email, but can you take care of the below? Mm-hmm. You were off on Friday. So it's not done. The lady leave next week. I didn't do it. Because I'm like,
it's not your responsibility.
It's not my responsibility, number one. And then number two, why aren't you, so you're staying late. And she was staying late all this week because she was off on Friday and wanted to have the hours. So you were here to do the job at 5:30, after 5, when all of the stuff was sent, and you didn't do it. I am in the place of, I'm not doing that anymore. Mm-hmm. One of the other officers was leaving, and I'm like, hey, he's leaving. Aren't we supposed to do such and such? Oh, you know what? Let me ask. Oh, you know what? You're right, Kendra. Why is it that I can hear? We are literally in the same spot. Why is it me hearing? It's like, okay, my first instinct is, what do we need to do to make sure this is correct? Other people's first instinct is no instinct at all, and they just sit there minding, nothing is happening.
And I wonder if that's just if that is a uniquely black thing. You know, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just a non-white thing. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But I will say this. I can only speak for my own culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have a deep background in how this plays out for us. One, you know, coming from slavery, being expected to work for to give free labor, like the being in a society where the mindset of that society is that your only purpose to being here is to work.
Yeah.
So,
and if you're doing anything of leisure, it's lazy.
It's exactly. And so it kind of, that's where we're starting at.
Right.
And then we move into an era where, okay, we come out of slavery, but then there's still this kind of
mindset,
undertone of how quote unquote lazy we are.
Yes.
Right. And so we're constantly trying to outwork that stereotype.
Yep.
And then you get into a space where now we're getting more education and we're getting these better jobs and we're able to do things. But I feel like the thread is still there of feeling like we have to be running on that hamster wheel.
Yes. And the thing is, when you try to then incorporate work, like life into that, it's also like, I don't want to teach my kids or have them feel as if like it's you in a seesaw of, I want them to have some kind of
a good work ethic.
Thank you, because the Perry said, thank you. Having good work ethic, knowing that, like, making sure that you're showing up, being reliable, all the things, right? So I'm having this conversation with Janae, and you know, at 20, I'm like, she's like, well, I just want to take off, and so I was like, well, for what? Oh, because I need to do somebody's makeup. That's at 3:00. I mean, that's at 4:30. Get your little stuff into work. Okay, yes, you don't have a car right now, so the metro starts running
at 6 a.m.
At 6 a.m. You can also catch the train from work to where you need to go. You don't have to always rely on myself or dad to then, because she was like, well, can you mind like leaving work early and picking me up and taking me to the train station? Don't a bus come to your job? No. Get on that bus and go where and get to the metro. I said, so you want, the thing is like, you want to inconvenience me to then convenience somebody else? Absolutely not. And so I'm like, and then you want to inconvenience yourself by taking a full day for leave, and you could only really need to take maybe 2 hours. Get yourself together and get to work. But then the other part of me is like, the work-life balance of it is, well, no, that also then gives her the day to kind of get herself together and then prep and just chill out. So now you're not rushing into something. So it's a seesaw of, I get it, but the hard work is, I want them to think that you're reliable. But then she's also like, but the other people, if they don't want to come in, they don't want to come in. I'm like, that's not in my DNA, to the core of me.
Because I think it reinforces that fear or that stereotype that we are lazy. Yes. And so I think you don't want her to be categorized as that.
Especially young.
Yeah, and so it's female, like you're pushing her to be like, no, your job is a priority. Make sure you do what you need to do. And there has to be kind of like a middle ground. Because no, I do think it's important to have good work ethic, right? But it's also important to have work-life balance. And we shouldn't feel shame around, you know, when we put the job to the side to do something for ourselves. We shouldn't feel shame around that, because now, I don't know if we have all seen this, but I have certainly seen where somebody gets sick, gets hurt, dies, whatever, and the job moves on like nothing fucking happened.
The thing is, I've told my mother, and before she retired, I was like, you're killing yourself. I said, God forbid something happens to you, your vacancy will be out before your obituary.
Yep.
So I'm gonna need you to chill out. And it was, I mean, her stuff was like to the extreme. I'm you know, she was working from home, so when she would go on vacation, like if she went to Massachusetts or something like that, she's working and then going back in, like, we'll be off for a couple hours, and then like, oh, I'm gonna finish some stuff up at like 7 p.m. And my dad got to the point where like, I'm not gonna come up here if the whole time you're gonna be working. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And so I think that's a part of it. Like, my dad used to work overtime throughout, you know, work Christmas, because he's like, listen, if I work Christmas, that's time and a half. I'm sorry, that's double time, not even time and a half. I worked, you know, this extra hours, you know, so he had, but it was a goal that he was trying to reach of. My mom didn't, you know, things was going on. She didn't want to work those things, but, not didn't want to work, but some stuff was going on with her job. But then she also, now you still, that my thinking is, you still working like this, but she's also back to work, making a decent salary. Now, does that all help on the back end? Yes. Do I remember some of the wonderful like Christmases and things like that? But then I also remember like, hey, Kendra, wake me up before by 9 o'clock because I got to be at work. So I was the one fixing spaghetti because my mom was working late. And it wasn't like, when people have these stories, I was just, I had to grow up all fat. That's not mine. But I was making sure, like my brother was in the house scratching his little buns, and I'm cooking dinner and making like stuff that I knew I can make. I'm gonna make spaghetti, or I'm gonna make tacos, I'm gonna make such and such, so that my dad can eat before he leaves. And then when my mom gets home, she has food, or she's not forced to like at 7 o'clock trying to figure out something, something to eat. So it's those, things. So like even now, working late, knowing like for me, I work late Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. He works late Thursdays and Fridays. So on Sunday, Saturday I usually try to go grocery shopping, and Sunday I'm cooking like 4 meals, so that we still have a home cooked meal, so that we still have home cooked lunches. Like we're not necessarily eating out all the time, but then that becomes on Sunday is like I dread Sundays because it's just a long day to then have to get ready for work. So like the last weekend, I Lord, I can't even think. I went grocery shopping Saturday night, and then so that Sunday morning I can get a lot of stuff done. So I feel like I still had a Sunday, because if I go grocery shopping Sunday and have to cook, I'm tapped. Yeah. I'm tapped. So yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult having that, and then feeling like you're at work and saying I'm gonna take off to for vacation and things like that, and it's like, well, you're in charge of this, and nobody else really does it when you're not here, or does it. So you feel as if like, let me prep everything. So now you stress trying to prep everything. It just becomes too much.
It do. The other thing I wanted to bring up was Michelle Obama had said something when she was interviewing with Keke Palmer, and she said that being happy sometimes means being bored and being content when life is quiet. And that kind of hit home for me because, as y'all know, I hate to be bored. But then as you think about that, you're like, well, why do you hate to be bored? And because I feel like I'm not doing anything. And then the question comes in is, why do you always have to be doing something? And I think, just like with the work thing, it comes down to, and I think we talked about this during COVID, it comes down to you feel like you're not living, or feel like you're wasting time, or you're wasting I don't know how to explain it, y'all, but it's just like with being at work. I'm not going to be at work and not be productive. Right. Because dilly-dallying. I'll dilly-dally, but I'm going to make sure I get my work done. Right. But when I say productive, I don't want anybody to look at me and what I've done work-wise and say that I wasn't a benefit, or I wasn't, you know what I mean? Like it's that part. And then even in my personal life, I feel that pressure too. It bothers me to look back and be like, well, you ain't do nothing today. It's something about that doesn't feel right.
It doesn't sit well in your spirit.
Yeah. And so then it brings me back to this thing of, what is this obsession to constantly be doing, to constantly be producing, to constantly be working, to constantly be proving your worth and proving your value? A part of me wonders, does it trace back to you don't feel like your self-worth, you don't feel like you're worthy if you're not doing something?
I'll say having one vehicle now has kind of forced it on us, right? So, because I'm like, first, and it's cold outside, so it's not like, oh, I can walk up the street.
But even when you're stuck in the house, when you don't have the car, do you have days where you actually just don't do anything, or do your brain still be like, well, you could be cleaning up, or you could be
my brain says that,
but you could be getting lunch, you know what I mean?
But I'm like, over these, I used to be like that. Like, I'll be washing clothes, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, so when he comes home, it's like, oh, you ain't just been chilling all day. Here, as of late, I'm in that bed. And I literally decided the other weekend, before I went out and did my grocery shopping, he was out, he had to work, he had to do other stuff. Only time I got up was to feed them kids. And I was in that bed. And then I got up when he got home and then went to the grocery store, because I'm like, I could lay here and then be annoyed with myself tomorrow morning when I'm now up at 6 to get to the grocery store to get everything done. Where if I had just, once he got home, the kids are already settled and stuff like that, I can just go to the grocery store. And then tomorrow, go ahead and sleep in. I already know we were making, so that's already prepped. But the mindset is, like, I know what I'm cooking. So now it's not a rush to do everything. So
To be honest, I don't know what the answer is, and I don't know if, as Black people, I don't know if we'll get there. I guess slowly over time, we will get to a space where we don't feel this constant pressure.
Let me say, the generation, the pressure. What's that?
As much as we criticize them for that, maybe that is what growth looks like.
I think that we may, I think, and a lot of people have said it on like TikTok and different social media outlets, that millennials have been the best versions of parents that people could have asked for. Because you have the knowledge of what the expectation is of the world, but then you also have had the growth of emotional maturity to dealing with your kids. So, and it don't work across the board, but like for my children, and they talk about this, I understand work ethic. I know I need to go to work. I know Janae knows she needs to do the things. She just gonna complain about it. And so for us, it's like, just do it. What you complaining for? She's like, I'm gonna do it, but I'm also gonna tell you I don't want to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's the balance of being able to express your emotions, but knowing like, I know the ultimate goal, but I have the right to feel how I feel about it and express it. Do. But we weren't raised like that. It's like, why are you complaining if you know you have to do it? And so it's like, well, what? And that's the thing we always say.
Which is why we suppress our feelings.
Right. And so then when they say, I can complain about it, but who's going to listen? It's the mindset that we have. Janae's like, I don't care who's listening. You got ears, hear it. You don't have to listen, but you go. I told my mom, sometimes riding, especially when she's on a tangent, something has happened and she's pissed about it. I said, it's very emotionally draining riding with her, because she will say it over and over again. But then I'm also like, I appreciate that you get it out of your system, because we'll hold stuff in and then all of a sudden explode. It's like, if you're talking about it in the moment, and that's what they always have said in therapy, if you talk about it in the moment, you are able to get it out and then diffuse it and feel better later.
To feel those feelings, talk about it, diffuse it, and then be able to move on.
Because we'll hold it, and then this will happen again 2 weeks later, and now you screaming at somebody. It's like, well, you should have said that 2 weeks ago, baby. That don't have nothing to do with this right now. What's going on? So, yeah.
That was another great episode.
It was another great episode.
I feel like I hope that you all enjoyed it too. I now am feeling like, man, we kind of took it down for the end of the month.
Well, this is the thing.
But after all month, we've kind of been like, everything's been like high energy.
What's the inevitableness of this podcast is going to give you a roller coaster ride of emotions.
That is true.
So we're going to talk about all the things. There are some times, unfortunately, in life, and understanding where we are in life, right? So we'll be, the beginning of the month was great. We still on the half of the new year. I'm trying to tell you something. Over these, with the snowstorms and the BS in the government and all the things that have happened, I feel like it's been 5 years. And so right now, this is how I feel.
We ain't even made it out the second month.
We have not. And the thing is, how fast the months feel like they're going, it's as fast as it's going, it's very much so slow. Because we're tiptoeing into March. I can't believe I'm going to have a 17-year-old. Can you imagine with me for a second, if I stopped having kids after Jayla?
You'd be done.
I would be footloose and fancy free.
You'll be done.
Holy cannolis, Batman. But anyway, let me not stay up in that mud, okay?
But this also the same person is like, oh, Josh, she needs a younger sibling.
I still feel like that. I am a conundrum of things, okay? I had a dream that I had a baby the other day. I had a little girl.
Oh, okay.
I was like, that's crazy.
Well, maybe it's coming.
Listen, the way the Perry is parrying on me, just a hot second into the Perry. Because are you going?
Not yet, no. At least I don't think I am.
To the point where I am a cold person. I'm having hot flashes.
Already?
Yeah, like, not hot flashes, excuse me, night sweats.
Night sweats, oh yeah.
So like in the middle of the night, like I have a heating pad because it starts off, like I start off cold. The heating pad turns off after 2 hours. So it's not like it stays on. And he's a hot person. But he had to heat up, and I felt like,
you were burning.
Open up this damn window. So I said, can you turn the heat down? He was like, take that heater pad. But I was like, the heater pad is not even on. It's hot in here. Then I'm getting ready to come on my cycle. I'm back to regurgitating.
Oh.
And energetic, like so. But I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning. I said, now what is this? When I tell you I can see things, but my brain cannot. The connection between my brain and my mouth, it just is not connected. I'm like, when I'm telling he's in this mood, I'm literally looking, and I'm like, I don't know. I be having good statements, and maybe this has been happening for a while. Because now, like looking back to some of the times we were on the podcast, I'm like, now what did you say? And you're like, you just said it. I also know that. What do you want from me? Short-term memory loss. I don't know. So I'm going through it. So I called my mom and I was like, hey, did you go through the perimenopause? She said, Kendra, first of all, these were not words that we were saying. I went through menopause in my early 50s. All of my friends had already gone through it. I was wondering why I was last. I said, you was wondering why you was last to the party?
In the early 50s?
Yes.
Wow.
She was like, all of my friends had already started going through it. And so she just had started in like early 50s. Mm-hmm. I don't know when she necessarily finished. But she was like, I want to join a band where everybody's in the. I was like, you wanted to be in the pause?
Because she wanted to stop having her cycle.
And that's the other thing. You could be in the peri for years. And that cycle still, you're going to feel all the pause things. But that peri said, but you're going to have that period.
That's what the peri
That's the peri. You're going to have that period. Oh my God. I'm coming on. Like the Flow app ain't apping because it don't know when you're coming or not. I said, this is the time to be the most careful. Because I'm older, because I'm a little heavy. This is when like twins pop up. All type of bullshit be happening in the peri. Mm-hmm. I laughed at the people. I did. I laughed at the people.
And now life having a laugh.
And life said, oh.
You think something funny?
It'd be like, so what you laughing at? Is what it is.
Why you laughing?
Because let me follow up with you. Let's have a talk. Oh no, baby, come on, leave me. I can take a lot of things. I can take the night sweats. I can take a lot of things. That regurgitation and nauseous feeling. Oh, take it all out.
I'm hoping that because I didn't have any kids, that I might be like good. Because like going through pregnancies and kids, that fluctuates your hormones too.
But see, the thing is, and with that, but they say like for me, because when you have children, you don't ovulate, right? Mm-hmm. So that's 9 months of eggs that do not get released. Mm-hmm. So like people's thought process was if you release regularly, then you go into it earlier because you have continued your cycle. Mm-hmm. I've had a few 9 months of not having eggs come out, mm-hmm. So the people lie.
They do lie. Also,
it is your genes.
We can get into this next month, but there's not enough studies done on women's health for us to really know what's what. So your mom saying like we didn't have this back then. No, people just weren't studying women's bodies. And then and you may not know why you having all of these. And we always say, oh, I must be PMSing, and it could inevitably be that, but then it also could be other things. Oh, why am I so forgetful? I've just been tired, or maybe I need to take some more vitamins, or ginkgo. What is it, ginkgo biloba? Mm-hmm. Maybe we need to get on that. You on the peri? I'm so sick of it. Yeah. And I have to go through it. My mother's like, "What is it every month?" I was like, "Mom, it started October," because I remember the first time I was like, why am I? And I was so sick, and I'm thinking because on the boat it's something that I have eaten. And that same day, later on that day, I came on my cycle. It happened, and it was worse this month. But I'm just like, what are we doing? Yeah. And that's how I was when I first and they say that it goes kind of back to like when you first, because your body wasn't used to the level of hormones, so it was kind of like get everything out. And so now we're back. Once an adult, twice a child? Get me out of here. Anyway. I can't imagine.
Yeah, I don't wish that on nobody.
Well, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, the notification button, tell a friend and tell a friend.
Drop down in the comments. Do you have good work-life balance? What is your impression of work-life balance? How are you implementing this as being a parent, being a single, being a spouse, being a mother, daughter, all of those things? Sister, how does this incorporate into, how do you make sure that you have that, or do you have that? And then are you going through the berry?
And we'll drink to
And
that.
we'll drink to that.